Hello YouTubers and welcome to another week. We have made it to Monday on this lovely Suit Monday, because remember, look good, feel good, row good, or enter any activity in the third. But today, got some interesting news regarding my Patreon, so I spent a little bit of the weekend adjusting that a little bit. So shout out to Michelle Allen for having a look at that and adjusting to the shout out part of the Patreon. So there is now a tier where I shout out some people to give back to the Yam Squad. Morning. So I'm trying to put a few more tiers on there, or change the tiers a little bit to where I can give a little bit more back to the Yam Squad, and that means that I've also put something else on another tier, which is actually the podcast, the Yam Squad podcast, which I've been trying to do for a while now. And now it is finally there, Robson. So that's one of the tiers, and I've adjusted the other tiers, and then you can have a look in the link in the description below to see what you think. But let me know in the comments what you think, if there's anything you would like on a tier itself, so I can give back to the Yam Squad. And as we enter the club, still a lot of work getting done. The tent's getting put up, as you can see around here. But first things first, on this gorgeous morning, the sun is out, the rain seems to be away, at least for today. We have to go into the club, which we have made it, get changed, get stretching, rolling out, and then get on the water. Oh yeah! And we've made it onto the water. We've got a beautiful day this morning. We've got some geese doing some racing, some time trialing over there. And today we actually get to go the wrong way up the actual course. No,
we get to go the right way.
The right way up the actual course, because we usually get to go the wrong way.
The wrong way up the river.
The wrong way up the river, the right way up the course. So maybe at some point this week we'll do a little tour. So let's get to it.
Go.
Now, a little bit of paddling down the actual race direction, but now it's time to fuel up, because remember, food is fuel. And we've made it into the crew room for the fueling up, because remember, like I just said, and in the boat bay, food is fuel. We've got the breaded egg toast, and we've got an Edward. But pretty good session today. Like I said, we were rowing up and down, like you saw as well. We rowed down the racing direction of the course and up the other side. So as always, variation is a big key to motivation. It's just even those little things like coming down the water in a different direction. It makes you see things in a different light. And as always, it's enjoying the process and enjoying where you are and what you're doing, or at least trying to, because when you enjoy something, it really helps with the motivation, and it really helps just getting through what you're doing. But we're fueling up, so let's get to it.
Welcome to Robson's tours of the Henley track, starting with the start.
I'm coming from the finish.
And we're probably going to finish somewhere around about the finish.
made it into the crew room for fueling up once more after this session. We've got pie for lunch to fuel up. We're just discussing, no we weren't, we were discussing American universities there and the difference between sort of the attitude of the Americans universities. So we used to, at uni, shout when we put the boat on the water. Opinions on that end. It'd be like, literally like, someone would be like, 1, 2, 3, and then the boat goes around here, guys! And everyone's like,
I personally wouldn't do it.
Why not?
Well, I would do it if I was there, but it's like a mindset thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like a mob mentality.
Yeah.
If you're in the group,
Yeah. Like
outwardly,
point.
I think English people
Well, that's what I'm saying.
are a little more reserved.
Yeah, and that's when we did it when we came over in 2013, and we got told off by the stewards. So that was interesting. But it's like that type of thing where like the group of people buy in that much. So Ed's been watching some sorority cheers to see if we can bring any in.
Terrifying.
It's just like how much do the people like? Nobody questions what's going on. Fully commit, and so that's. If we can take that into our rowing, that would be really good. Not necessarily the sorority cheers.
If you want to watch the one I was watching, it's called AD Pie, as in Alpha Delta Pi, and the Fat Jew on Instagram
has posted it.
Yeah.
And it's how many people? Like 60, 100?
Oh yeah, like 60 odd people.
A lot of people cheering, and it's awesome. But now it's time to fuel up after the session. Hopefully you enjoyed that little bit of a change in angle. Put the GoPro on my head. Looked a bit silly, but hopefully the footage was alright. I don't know if Ed made any funny faces.
I didn't know it was there, unfortunately.
And Ed Robson was leading the tour there from bow 6. But now we're fueling up, so let's get to it. And we've made it onto the bridge here in Henley. We're doing a little bit of change this afternoon. We're going for a haircut to get the sides done, to get the skin fade, and to adjust Richard's slight mishap when he was doing the haircut earlier. And with Callum too.
Big Jimmy's trims.
Big Jimmy's trims is not available today. So let's go get a haircut.
Big Jimmy's trims.
Thanks guys. And we've made it outside of the Turkish. We've got a haircut. Callum's got his favourite style.
They're going to come watch us at Henley now.
And all the Turkish guys have been watching the YouTube videos. Absolutely fantastic, and they're talking about supporting us there and maybe even getting us a little bit of a haircut. That would be pretty cool. But now we go back to the club for a little bit chilling out. Oh yeah. And we have made it outside of the club after a little bit of chilling out. And as today is all about that little bit of motivation, because it's Motivation Monday on this Suit Monday, beginning the last of the last 3 weeks, or the first of the last 3 weeks, running into Henley Royal Regatta. A little bit of variation. So I went and got the haircut in the middle of the day. Usually get it after training. We had a little bit of a gap, so I thought, why not go and get tidied up, get a fresh trim, because Big Jimmy's was not available. And as well, I spoke about the Patreon earlier. I've been trying to figure out on the Patreon just how I can give a bit more back to the Yam squad. So whether that is a shout out on one of the YouTube videos like Michelle had this morning, and thank you very much to Michelle Allen for her contribution to the Patreon. But there's the shout outs, there is the podcast, which the first edition is there, where I talk about the 2K row and what kind of goes through my head. So I get pretty hype in that podcast, and I really appreciate if you support me by unlocking that podcast, or even the first tier. It's just a contribution. It goes directly to all my expenses. And there are other tiers as well. So we have the merch tier, where I specifically designed some merch to go out to the backers of the Patreon. So that won't be for sale anywhere else, and it goes straight to you guys. And then there's a couple of other tiers. There's a tier there where it's we can meet up in Henley, have a coffee, have an apple juice or whatever here in Henley, or we have a Skype call and we can talk about anything you like. But those are a few of the things that I was thinking, okay, I can give these things back to the Yam squad and not override or overrun myself. And obviously the support that I get from the Patreon, from you, the Yam squad, is absolutely amazing, and it really helps with continuing the videos themselves and also rowing full time here at Leander Club. So thank you very much to everyone who has supported, and thank you very much to the Yam Squad for all the support. And as always, Yam Squad, we have Catherine here. Oh yeah! Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will see you tomorrow.